Well, hello, everyone. This is Dr. Nic, your favorite personal growth coach, and I am here to welcome you to another session of Adulting in My Purpose Live. And as always, I'm excited to be with you every Wednesday at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time right here live to share some information, to have some guests. We've been having a great time. So if you're joining for the first time, welcome. Hello. If you're a returning listener, welcome back. Good to know that you're out there. So for my first timers that are here, my name is Dr. Nicole Rankin, better known as Dr. Nic, and I'm a certified personal growth coach. And really, my mission is to help young leaders truly discover who they are, clarify their vision, and develop a solid plan to take their next step in life. So, I'm the author of Adulting in My Purpose, the journal, which is a 7 step system of self discovery that helps young people, helps millennials uncover their purpose and really navigate this complex world, giving them strategies, giving them tools, and giving them the type of questions that they need to ask, reflective question that they need to ask to uncover their purpose. So they take a seven journey of self-discovery. It's an amazing. So the book is available. The journal is available on Amazon. So make sure you get your copy there. Get your copy of Adulting in My Purpose on Amazon. So each week we have met here on Wednesdays at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, and we've talked about strategies for living, helping young leaders really take their next step in life, giving them having guests to talk about mental health, talk about home ownership, talk about finances, talk about just their story in life and how they overcame a lot of adversity to become the successful people that they are. But today is a special day. Today is a special day. So, as the song says, do you know what today is? It's our anniversary. Can you guys believe it? This time last year, we started Adulting in My Purpose live stream. I can't believe it. We have been doing this for a year now. So it is our anniversary, and it's an exciting time just to take a time and reflect back to where we were a year ago. And so since last year, we started this live streaming, and that beginning, that first step into doing something different, doing something new, because Lord knows I wasn't trying to be doing anything live like this. But, in times, and we're going to talk about this more tonight, but since that start of doing something different, Adulting in My Purpose has turned into a course. It was a 7-day challenge. It has become a podcast. It has become a radio station. And we have been able within the year to reach millennials and young people who have listened in throughout the United States. We have reached young people in Australia, Germany, the Virgin Islands, the Philippines, Kenya, South Africa, Ireland, and others. I mean, it blows my mind the way that God moves and open doors, and as you do things differently and just being in line with his will and understanding your purpose and how he can move. I mean, at the start of the pandemic, it was like, okay, well, what are we going to do? And how am I going to survive? It was a scary thing because I knew the change was going to have to take place, and I had to be intentional about it. So that one decision turned out to be something that has propelled me and positioned me into places that I would not ordinarily be or think about. And so that's amazing, just how God works. So tonight, as we celebrate a year of Adulting in My Purpose, I can't believe it, and it's our anniversary. I really want to just take a look back and share some lessons learned, because the idea of what I had to do in creating change just open up the doors of possibility. So as young people, you're going to go through life, right? You're going to go through life and you're going to face challenges, you're going to face obstacles, you're going to face some roadblocks, but you got to learn how to change and how to be flexible. The word I heard most this past year outside of "you are mute" was pivot. Pivot. That's like the main word that I heard over and over and over again was pivot. So in the past year, if it didn't teach me anything, it taught me how to pivot when challenges presented themselves. So tonight, I just want to do a special teaching on that because we've gone through the pandemic, we're still dealing with it, and things have not necessarily gone back to the norm, but we're going to have to be able to be flexible and learn how to pivot when challenges come in the future. It may not be another pandemic, but it may be something that is going to change our whole trajectory. So what do we do? How do we navigate those times when we're faced with those obstacles, faced with those roadblocks, faced with those brick walls, right? So we have to learn how to pivot when those challenges present themselves. So what I wanted to do is just kind of take a reflective moment, if you would say, and take a look back over my years and share some of the things that I have learned with you in my journey of pivoting over the year. And hopefully, if you're not right now going through some challenges, or when you face those challenges, this might be something that you think about to help you increase your awareness and help you be intentional about your decision making and get you to that next step that you need to go to keep moving forward. So let's dive right into this episode of learning how to pivot when faced with challenging moments. And so my first lesson, when I look back over the year of when we first started and we was hit with the pandemic, and I had to look at things and understand, okay, here's a time where I was doing something. I was a speaker, teacher, coach, doing training and development and traveling different places, traveling the US, traveling internationally, and generating income doing that. And so when the pandemic hit, of course, all of that got shut down. So here I am as a fairly new entrepreneur, and I'm like, okay, my main source of income is got shut down. So what am I going to do? So the first lesson that I've learned is that pivoting does not necessarily mean that you need to scrap everything. Right. And so a lot of times when we get into this place of pivoting, or the idea that we meet against a roadblock or challenges, sometimes we feel that we have to kind of throw things away and maybe start over, or look look at new ways, or just start from scratch. But what I've learned is you don't have to do that when you're pivoting. It's really a time for reflection. It's really a time for evaluation. You see, when you have a plan that's based on a goal that you have, or based on the dreams or vision that God has given you, and you face a time of pivot, it doesn't mean stop everything or forget the dream, forget the plan, throw it all away and let your circumstances be an excuse. No, this is the time where you begin to reevaluate things, right? You never want to throw away the goal or throw the dream away, right? But you look at ways that you can be flexible with your plan. And you start to reevaluate and start to think about ways that you can make changes that you can still move forward. So you got to be flexible with the journey. When working to discover your purpose and live a life of purpose, you got to understand that when God gives you a vision, when God gives you a dream, it's going to come to pass. As it says in Habakkuk, it says, write the vision, make it plain, right? But it will come to pass for those who will run with it. It will come to pass, right? It's all in a matter of timing. So it's not about throwing away the vision. It's not a way about throwing the goal away, but maybe the path that you will be taking to get there will have to shift, will have to change. And so a lot of times as young people, when you meet against obstacles because you plan a certain way, right, thinking that there is only one road to get to your goal, and when that road it hits that roadblock, you throw the whole idea away. You're like, maybe this wasn't for me, or you get discouraged, or you get frustrated and you throw it away. But no, this pivoting part of it is all about a time of evaluation. There's a proverb that says, in a man's heart, a man plans his course, but it's the Lord that orders his steps. So we can, the reality of it, we can plan all we want to, and God wants us to plan, right? He wants us to have a plan, but He's going to order, because the reality is that when He takes us on a journey to get to the goal or get to the vision and that assignment that He has for us, it's about our growth and development, right? It's about us becoming the people that we need to be to manifest the dream and the vision and the assignment that He has placed within us. So it's that time of pivot is really the time of growth, a time of stretching, a time of elevating your thought process, a time of filling yourself up with the things that you need. And so God can take you on a different direction to do that. And it's going to be something that's going to be outside your comfort zone, because that's where greatness happens. That's where the magic happens, is outside your comfort zone. We know nothing great ever happens when you're comfortable. It's when you're stretched, when it goes beyond you. That's where we see greatness. So when you have the opportunity to pivot, it's not the time to throw things away and to stop course, but it's that time to take your time to reevaluate, take your time to see, what changes do I need to make, how do I need to get outside my comfort zone. Now look, trust me, this time of pivoted was not in my plans. I really did not, when I wrote my plans out for 2020, in 2019, having a streaming show, radio station, or podcast was nowhere in my books. It was nowhere in my journal, right? But the dream and the vision was for me to become a global youth influencer. Now that was written down. That was the vision. And so the vision was there, and it was set. But the plan, the way, the method that God moved and God shifted allowed me to position myself to be in that space just through a different medium. So you got to realize, when it's time to pivot, you got to allow God to move. You got to give God room to show you what direction to go to. But you keep the goal, keep the dream, keep the vision the same, but be flexible with the plan and allow God to show you which direction to go in. So that's a major lesson that I learned throughout this year, and of time of pivoting and change, that it doesn't that the time of pivot doesn't stop the dream, it doesn't stop the goal, it doesn't stop the vision, but what it does do is helps you to may redirect you in a different course. And that's okay, because again, that's where the growth is. That's where you move outside your comfort zone. And so that's the first lesson I learned in this whole process within a year of understanding pivoting. And so one of the next lessons that I learned throughout this year is really to don't let your emotions get the best of you. Don't let your emotions get the best of you. And so it is so easy to get overwhelmed, because there's so much going on, right? There's still so much going on. There's so much going on. It's so easy to get overwhelmed. It's so easy to get frustrated. It's so easy to say you're going to throw in the towel, right? It's so easy to go back to the norm, right, to the routine than it is to step outside your comfort zone, to stretch yourself, to do something different. It's so what I realized is in this time of challenging times in how to pivot, that I had to find ways to help kind of control and keep my emotions in check. So you don't want to let your emotions get the best of you, and where you're making permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. So a lot of times when we get in a place where we are frustrated, where we meet challenges, we make decisions because of that frustration, or because of the challenging of feelings that we have, of the emotions that we have. But those are temporary, because those are temporary. Those feelings won't last always. Once you take time, once you debrief, once you analyze the situation, you'll start to come up with solutions. But if we're so quick to make decisions based on all in our feelings, that's where we see things, we start to get off track. So one another main thing that I learned over the year in this time of pivot is I couldn't allow my emotions to get the best of me. Yes, it was frustrating. Yes, it was emotional. Yes, it was overwhelming. And all of that. But I had to keep those emotions in check, because I knew, again, as I said in the first lesson that I learned, that the vision is still going to come to pass. And I had to have faith and rely and trust in God in that the vision that he placed in me, the dreams that he placed, the goals that he placed for me, were going to come to pass. So I had to get the humanism in me in check, so I can think, in his power, in the supernatural, and see what's going on, and see how to move, and where to go, and what to do. And so that's why I say, when you're faced with these challenges, when you're faced with opposition to your plans, don't let your emotions get the best of you. Find some ways to help you remain focused, but whether it be prayer, whether it be meditation, whether it be just taking a break, therapy, whatever you need to do to be able to control your emotions in these situations. You want to be able to do that, because you want to, when you're figuring out your next moves, when you're figuring out you're making decisions for your life, you want to be sure that you're in a calm state, right? That you're in a state where you are mentally stable, emotionally stable, spiritually stable, because you are the CEO of your life, right? And it's your responsibility to take control of your life, rather than just accept it the way it comes. We always say it is what it is. I've been guilty of saying that as well. It is what it is. But the reality is, it is what you make it, right? And as as I think it was Tony Robbins says, if it is meant to be, it's up to me, right? So it is what you make it, and you are the CEO of your life. So you have to be able to make decisions, to be able to pivot, to be able to go different directions if you need to, in a calm, stable manner. So I say, don't let your emotions get the best of you. And the reality is, these challenges, these roadblocks, these painful experience, bad experience that we felt over the year, we're going to feel them again, because everyone has them. We all have bad experience. We all experience pain, and we need to recognize that we're going to have ups and we're going to have downs in life. That's reality, guys. Even as a young person, I know you want to just be on top all the time, and I'm not here to paint that picture for you. I'm here to prepare you for life, that life is going to take you up, life is going to take you down. And that's the reality. We're all going to go through this. So you got to be able to kind of shift in and change those bad experiences into positive ones, and see the positive ones, because no one likes a bad experience. No one likes negative feelings. No one likes to have to go through things, right? Nobody likes it. But it's the people who change those bad experiences into positive experiences that makes the difference, right? So a bad experience can have two sides. It has a positive and a negative, and it all depends on what you choose to focus on. If you choose to focus on the negative, that's what you're going to manifest, right? You're going to as a man thinketh, so is he. So you think negative thoughts, you're going to feel negative. You're going to say negative things, and you're going to do negative things, right? And that's the way psychologically it goes, right? But if you think on the positive, right, having a positive outlook, even in the midst of the storm, even under difficult times and situations, that's going to cause you to pivot. If you think of the positive aspect of things, then you're going to see a different outlook. So I look at, just over the year as we started this Adulting in My Purpose, the live streaming, you know it was I look at the beginning, it was like, okay, I need to look at the positive things in this situation. Yes, I'm not traveling. Yes, I'm not in the schools or doing the things that I normally do, but what am I doing? I'm able to still speak the things that God lays on my spirit. I'm still able to reach young people and do with the things that I'm called to do. It was just done a different way, and I had to be open to that. I had to have a mindset that I was able to be open and to see that positive outlook. It's like I said, guys, in the beginning, none of this was in my plans. None of this was in the plans. I wouldn't, I couldn't even think of, I don't think I would even was even thinking about podcasts, radios, any of that, right? That was definitely not in my plans. But because of the pivot, because of the shifting, doors open in that way, and then I'm able to have the impact that I have. So when you get to a place where you are faced with these challenging times, you can't let your emotions get the best of you. You have to make sure that you're choosing a positive life stance no matter what, that you're going to trust God, that you're able to continue your faith, you're going to pour into yourself and continue to grow, have that positive life stance, and embrace your time of creativity. Like, this is the time when you're faced with obstacles, when you're faced with roadblocks, this is a time to get creative. Think outside the box. This is you don't once you're living your life of purpose, adulting in your purpose, or trying to discover your purpose, you don't want to go back to the norm. You don't want to go back to the things that you're used to doing, and the routine that you used to do, right? You want to continue on a path where everything is new. You're doing something different. You're growing. You're pushing yourself. You're pushing yourself to reach your full potential, to reach your full capacity. You're pushing yourself to elevate your thoughts. You're reading. You're expanding your mind. So all of this thing is now creating creative solutions to your problems and the problems that you're facing. So when you do that, you're developing that creativeness in you. And then so now you begin to really value bad experiences, because every problem presents itself an opportunity, and you have to see the opportunity in the problem. And it all depends, again, what side of the coin are you looking at? Are you looking at the negative side, or are you looking at the positive side? Because every problem that you're faced is going to have an equal opportunity with it. And so when you face this time of challenges, you want to look for the opportunity. Trust me, it's there. The opportunities are there if that's what you're looking for. So no matter what, we can always learn from these challenging times, because facing difficulties is inevitable. Facing difficulties, we have seen it, and we're still seeing it. It's inevitable. But learning from them and growing from them, that's what's optional. And that's where you have a choice as a young person to learn from this experience, to grow from this experience. And then when you're going to make good changes, right? This is where the pivot comes. Now that you're learning from your experiences, you create positive change, and then you pivot in the right direction. And so what I realized over the course of this year is that when taking this positive stance and saying, okay, how can I pivot? What can I do? And started the streaming live, and then the doors of opportunity started to come because people started seeing the live. And so now you're positioning yourself to do something different, and you're drawing opportunities to you because you stepped out on faith to do something different. So from the live, again, I was approached to do things in present this platform into millennials in Kenya. I was, with the podcast, I'm able to reach people all over the world. So when you put yourself in a position to pivot and to change, you create opportunities for yourself. And that's what adulting in my purpose is really all about, really taking responsibility for your life. You can't always avoid bad situation. It's going to happen. So during the good times and the bad times, you still have responsibility to be the CEO, to be the leader of your life, right? And you want to always avoid being the victim of circumstances, right? I that's one of my pet peeves, right? Of being a victim of circumstance. Yes, bad things happen, and they're going to continue to occur all of your life, but you don't want to be a victim. You want to be a victor and take your responsibility for yourself and for your life. And so you have the ability to do that. So in this time, this is definitely one of those lessons learned over the course of this year in not allowing my emotions to get the best of me. So you want to be able to control your emotions during the times when you're facing challenges, when you're facing those roadblocks in your plan, when things just don't seem like they're going right, when you're feeling stuck. Put things in perspective and really find the good and in the situation, and find creative ways to create positive change. So that's lesson number 2. Don't let the emotions get the best of you. And the last lesson that I have is always remember that these challenges and these times of pivot are temporary. Now, I say this because temporary is relative. Now, be it we've been in this situation for a year. Like I said, it's our anniversary. I started this whole Adulting in My Purpose live streaming a year ago. So the level and the season of the challenges are relative. They're up to God. It's not up to us, but it will pass, and it is temporary, right? And so we can't um think about it as something that we're going to remain in, and base our decision making on the things as if we're going to remain in. We have to continue to look ahead. We have to continue to steer that ship. Like the law of navigation says, everyone can steer ship, but it takes a leader to chart the course. You got to look ahead, right? You got to plan ahead. You got to think about what can be in the future and not just stay stuck on what is. Because if you stay stuck on what is, you're not going to be able to move forward, because again, you're always going to be focused on the problems, the challenges, the roadblocks, and what you put your focus to, that's what grows, right? So you can constantly think and think on your problems, and you're just going to create more problems for yourself. So you got to be able to understand and really believe that these situations, these problems are temporary. And so when you make your path, and when you make your decisions, you're making decisions for your future, and you're making sure that the decisions that you make as you pivot are still in line with the vision that God has given you, with the vision that you have written down, with the dreams that you have written down. Remember, I always talk about the GPS analogy, right? The what do we how do we know what do we know about the GPS? We need the 2 points. We need where we are currently and where we are going, our destination. And those are the 2 points that we have to have clarity once we put them into GPS. And then and only then, when we put those 2 points into the GPS, that's when it gives out the itemized detail on how to get there. And so so you may have a clear understanding of where you are and where you want to be, and your GPS gives you the details of how to get there, and you're working your plan, but then a pandemic hits, or a problem arises, or a challenges comes, and it takes you off course. And just like that GPS, when you go off course, and you may go for miles and miles and miles and miles, but what happens? It just goes rerouting, 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 and it takes you back in line to where your destination goes. And that's the same thing in life. In life, there are things that's gonna challenges and circumstances that's gonna cause you to pivot, that you may have to take a new route. But you got to know that it's only temporary, because if you are keeping the vision that God has given you, if you have keeping your dreams in line, and you have that on the forefront, and you have clarity to know that that's where your destination is, and you're going to reach that no matter what, then all that's going to happen is during this time, you're going to be rerouted. You're going to be rerouted back to that plan. You're going to be be rerouted back to that vision. You're going to be rerouted back to those goals. So it's only a matter of time. So you got to understand, during the time of crisis, during the time of challenges, it's temporary. And so during that time, this is when you got to make sure that you are growing. Not only are you growing, that you're learning, that you're reflecting, that you're evaluating, and that you're shedding. This is a time of shedding as well, because there are some things, there are some habits, there are some disciplines that you're doing that are not in alignment with where you're wanting to go. And so this is a time in the times of pivot. This is a time that can reevaluate the things that you do, and what you need to start doing, and then also the things that you need to stop doing. And so having the idea to understand that these times of challenges, these times of roadblocks, of pivot times, is they're only temporary. But when it comes to planning for your success, you got to remember that you got to prepare. Right, you got to prepare, and I was looked up the word prepare in the Bible. The word plan appears in the Bible 205 times throughout the book. 205 times. So you might think that's important, right? So we got to plan our steps. And again, making decisions throughout this time of season of when you're going through challenges, before you make a decision, you want to think ahead. Again, plan your steps and allow God to order them as you prepare your way to go through the situation. Again, go through it. We're not staying there, we're not stuck there, and we're having a mindset that we're going through the situation. So the next time when life causes you to pivot, I want you to think about some of these things that I had to think about and I had to go through during my time of pivoting. Like I said, that was the biggest word of the year. I can't believe it's been a year since we've been doing this, but even in this time, I'm grateful. I am honored to be used in such a way, and I thank you guys for watching. I thank you guys for supporting my journey. It's a tough one, but it's definitely a rewarding one, and one I know that God has led me on. So it's definitely fulfilling, living in your purpose, knowing that you're adulting in your purpose. It's a great feeling. And so as a young person, as you're thinking of uncovering your giftings and uncovering your purpose, and really understanding, why is it that you're here on this earth? What is it that you're supposed to be doing? And I truly believe that God has given you all the gifts, all the talents, your personality, all the experience that you have, the passions that you have, all will come together for you to uncover just exactly those answers that you're seeking. And so, adulting in my purpose is going to continue to grow. We're really starting a movement, as we call it. Really a movement to help as many young people as we can truly adult in their purpose and really understand their giftings, really understanding their talents, and truly live the life that they were created to live. So, we will be here continuing as we celebrate 1 year anniversary of Adulting in My Purpose live stream. We will continue this. We will continue to bring guests on to help you with tools and with strategies to all in all areas of your life, because adulting in my purpose is just not in the career aspect. A lot of times when we think about your purpose, we think about more of it on a career. What do I want to do career wise or professional wise? But adulting in purpose is who you are holistically, who you are. What do you want out of your health? What do you want out of your finances? What do you want out of your social life? What do you want out of your family life? What do you want out of your home life? It's a holistic point of view. So we're really going to start creating a movement. So we have some great things, and I can start making the announcements now, that we have a Adulting in My Purpose Summit. Yes, we have a summit that is coming up, and it's going to be, so mark your calendars. It's going to be August 14th and 15th. I should have had that written down, but it is August. Let me make sure. It is Yes, it is August 14th and 15th. So mark your calendars. We are going to have Adulting in My Purpose 2-day summit for all my young leaders, all my millennials out there. It will be a time of pouring into you, and we're going to talk about personal development, and then we're also going to talk about different areas of professional development. So it's going to be a time. We have some amazing speakers that are lined up and that are ready to give you the goods to help you go to the next level in your life. So again, uh, save the dates are going to come out. So I'm giving you the sneak peek ahead of time. August 14th and 15th. Save the date. We're going to do a 2-day summit of Adulting in My Purpose. So we're really excited, and I really want to thank our ambassadors. We have Adulting in My Purpose ambassadors that are coming together to help put this event together, along with some other things. So I'm grateful that now we have a team. We're growing and looking to do some great things and really expand the Adulting in My Purpose brand, and expand the Adulting in My Purpose movement to help more young people with their transformation. So we have the Adulting in My Purpose Summit coming up August 14th and 15th. And then we also, the Adulting in My Purpose course registration is now open. So if you are ready to go to the next level, if maybe you're stuck trying to figure out what your purpose is, and really not knowing what direction that you want to go to, the course is open. It will be a 7-week course. We will meet once a week once a week for 7 weeks, and you'll have content, you'll have coaching, you'll have Q&A, and really take a deep dive going through the Adulting in My Purpose journal. So that course starts May 4th. So you want to be able to register, secure your spot, and take the journey along with other people who are just like you, searching for their purpose. So I'm going to put that link in the chat, so you can get in and get registered for that Adulting in My Purpose course. So it'll be a 7-week course starting May 4th. So we're excited that that's coming up. We have I love taking young people through the Adulting in My Purpose course, the journal, because the transformation is amazing, and just to see them continue to thrive, and working with them is that's what warms my heart. That's what I'm passionate about. So those are the two announcements that I had. So again, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit because I'm so excited. It is our anniversary. 1 year we have been doing this, and we will continue. So next week we'll be bringing on some amazing guests, and we'll continue. If you have a guest idea, we have our special segments. We have our Ask the Expert segment. So if there are areas of life that you want to hear from experts in, put it in the chat. Let me know. We also have our Millennials Making Moves, where we're highlighting young people that are out there doing great things. We're so bombarded with negativity in this world that, you know, everything that people do in a negative light is so exasperated, and it's highlighted. But we want to focus on young people that are doing great things, and highlight them, and support them, and recognize them, and congratulate them, and reward them. So if you know of a millennial that's out there making moves, doing their thing, put their name in their chat. We want to hear from them, or have them on their show, so talk about their journey. And so we'll continue this, and we'll continue to build the movement. So those are the announcements. Again, it is always a pleasure to be with you on Wednesday here at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We'll be back next week for another amazing session. So you don't want to miss it. So mark your calendars, put your notifications on, like, share, do what you need to do to be back here next Wednesday at 8:30. So you guys have a wonderful, wonderful evening. And as always, be blessed and stay safe. Goodbye, y'all.